Ephesus, the ancient city. After spending a few days exploring Istanbul, we rented a car and drove about 550 kilometers to Selçuk, where the ancient city of Ephesus is located nearby. Ephesus is a vast archaeological site, with famous structures spread across a hillside, including the Library of Celsus, the Temple of Artemis, and the Great Theatre. The Great Theatre of Ephesus is one of the first major structures you encounter, a monumental ancient amphitheater carved into the hillside for natural acoustics. It has been used for several modern-day performances with Elton John and Pavarotti, to name a few. The theater follows a semicircular Greek layout, with tiered seating divided into 3 sections by horizontal walkways, ensuring visibility and sound projection throughout. It could hold about 25,000 spectators. During our visit, the theater was under restoration work, so we could only view from a distance. The next major feature was the Library of Celsus, built in the early 2nd century CE. It served as a public library that housed thousands of scrolls. Its east-facing facade, about 17 meters high, is famed for its optical symmetry. The columns and capitals are graduated in size to enhance the sense of verticality. The facade features Corinthian columns, decorative reliefs, and 4 statues symbolizing wisdom, knowledge, intelligence, and virtue. Ephesus is one of the best-preserved ancient cities in the world. Founded by the Greeks around the 10th century BCE, it reached its peak during the Roman Empire, when it was one of the largest cities in the Mediterranean, with a population of around 200,000. The city flourished for more than 1,000 years and was a major cultural, political, and commercial center of the ancient Mediterranean. By the 15th century, it was largely abandoned due to earthquakes, invasions, and the decline of trade. We visited in August, and the weather was hot and dry, around 43 degrees Celsius at midday. We used our umbrellas and sought shade whenever possible. At the south end of the complex, they had a miniature of the city to showcase each point of interest. A smaller theater-like structure was the Bouleuterion, also known as the Odeon. This stage was used for smaller performances and public meetings as a town hall location. We could walk through the halls below the seating, which was a great way to escape the midday sun and heat. The artistry and decorations of the stone carvings were absolutely beautiful. The Domitian Square is a partially excavated area near the Temple of Domitian. This would have been a busy area and a center of commerce in ancient times. Another key stop is the Temple of Hadrian. These ruins are considered one of the best preserved and most beautiful structures. The facade has 4 Corinthian columns that support a curved arch. In the middle of this arch is a relief of Tyche, goddess of victory. Every city must deal with its waste, and Ephesus was no exception. On display was a public latrine. This ancient free public toilet served the citizens as well as visitors. The seats were arranged around 3 sides of the open colonnaded courtyard with fresh water flowing in the channel in front of the seats for cleaning. Also on display was a stone letter sent between local leaders. This letter, written over 6 large tablets, was outlining a complaint of tax revenue not being shared equally among the states. On our way back to the north entrance, we stopped at the Ephesus Museum Experience. This is an audio-visual experience that takes you back through the city's history. As well, there is also a gift shop and cafe. To end our day, we went to the Church of Mary. It is said to be the first church to be built in the name of the Virgin Mary. It is often called the double church since one part of the church was for Mother Mary and the other was for John the Apostle. The structure was used as an educational center for Ephesian Christian priests and also a public meeting house. The next day, we enjoyed an excellent breakfast at our accommodation, and then walked over to the Temple of Artemis. The Temple of Artemis was an ancient Greek temple at Ephesus dedicated to the goddess Artemis. It was celebrated as one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world for its extraordinary size, beauty, and artistic achievement. Built entirely of marble, it was roughly twice the size of the Parthenon. Now only a few columns remain. We continued to explore Selçuk and went to St. John's Cottage and the Gate of Persecution. The views over the city and into the valley were very beautiful. We then walked down the hill to ruins of an ancient aqueduct. These ruins are open to the public 24 hours a day. Around the corner was the Mosque of Isa Bey, constructed in 1375. It is one of the oldest and most impressive works of architectural art remaining from the Anatolian Beyliks. By 1829, the mosque was in ruins, and by 1842 the minaret had fallen down due to an earthquake. The mosque stood in ruins for many years but was restored in 1970 and reopened for prayer. A second series of restorations were done on the structure in 2005. That wraps up our visit to Ephesus. Join us next time as we explore Pamukkale. See you then!